Hello, and I'm your host Ingrid Thompson, and welcome to the So You Want to Start a Business podcast, a collection of interviews with a variety of business owners, entrepreneurs, and other smart guests so you can learn tips, tactics, and strategies to implement in your business. In addition to this podcast, thousands of entrepreneurs and business startups get actionable advice and other valuable resources from our fortnightly newsletter, Startup Insights. Head over to healthynumbers.com.au where you can choose to sign up for the newsletter, or you can take our quiz, Business Startup Readiness Quiz. You can also find transcripts of all our podcasts over on my website, healthynumbers.com.au. Are you ready to meet today's guest? Let's go. Hello, and today we are with Kim Victoria, a marketing specialist who, in her words, helps business owners and consultants land corporate clients. Earlier this year, Kim and I collaborated on her special project connecting women around the world called Make Your Good Business Great. In this honest and revealing interview, Kim shares some terrific insights into the journey she has taken as she created and grew her business to what it is today. Listen in especially to her pricing strategy. As she says, this strategy is not for everyone. It worked because it was me and it's how I do things. And then we have an interesting discussion about the difference between price and value. Here we go. Hello, and here we are with Kim Victoria from the Infinity Group. Hello, Kim.
Hi there, Ingrid. How are you?
Great, thank you. Well, Kim's in Melbourne and I'm in Sydney, so let's get into the questions. So tell us about the Infinity Group, Kim. What is that business?
Thanks. Well, it's a digital marketing agency. Essentially, we create leads for people. I joke very often that we're an online dating service for businesses. So we connect businesses to businesses who want to do business together. And we do that, via social media and very proactive marketing. So it brings leads into your door every week, and that's what we love about it.
Yeah, that's terrific. And when did you start this business?
So it started in 2015. I have been in marketing for all of my career, but yeah, I started it really in 2015.
And I know you've had other businesses, so we're actually in this podcast, we're probably going to draw on some of your experience in other businesses, but we'll probably stick with this one. So you started it in 2015, and why did you start this business? What was your motivation for starting this one?
It was a funny way to drop into a business, actually. So I have small children, and so over the time that they were young and preschool, I have always worked. And helped other people with their marketing and strategy and design and getting their businesses out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so as I was helping people, I just managed to pick up a number of paying clients, and then my youngest one went to school, and I thought, well, this is really my year now. This is my opportunity to really set the world on fire, Ingrid, so to speak. And so when he went to school, and you're not juggling all of the crazy drop-offs and babysitting and all of that sort of stuff, I was just able to knuckle down and grow the business from there. So really, it was because my kids were going back to school, and I was able to have a lot more zest and ability to actually grow the business.
So and actually do it for yourself. And so what did you really want? What were you looking for in that business from day one? What were you looking for it to give you?
Yeah, so I'm one of those lifestyle business people.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it was really important that, I had a good income, but then also I had flexibility. That was really important to me. So that, if my kids are sick from school, it's okay. I can go and pick them up and care for them the way that I want to. And also that I'm there for them after school. So for me, definitely I would say that its lifestyle has been the biggest intention of doing it the way that I've built it as well.
That's terrific. And is it giving you that? Is that how it's working out?
Yes, well, I definitely have a lot of flexibility, but when you grow a business, as you would know, Ingrid, you have a lot of demands for your clients. So although there's this intention of flexibility, sometimes the clients come first and the kids come second.
Yeah.
But I also have prepped them quite well, so they do know, if I'm in the city for a day seeing clients, don't get sick that day, don't need me, and so will pick you up from school. And also, there's even to the point where if I'm on the phone and I'm at home but it's still business hours, they know not to interrupt me during that time. So, we've got a lot of, I don't know, rules. I don't mean to say rules, but boundaries, so that I can operate, so that I can operate in and around them, but then the clients also don't suffer as a result of that either.
Yeah, and it's probably terrific for them to have you as that role model doing that for them, in terms of...
I hope so, Ingrid, because my two eldest are daughters, and more than anything, I want to show them that you can put your passions into action, and you can have it all.
Yep, and we can.
And you can.
So you started the business. Your children had gone to school. You had some clients. What was the thing for you that made the business feel real, like that you were actually in business? And I ask this question because for different people, this has different meaning.
Yeah, I can really understand that too. When do you take it from a hobby into being a real business? I got super excited the month that I earned more than my husband, and I thought, this is cool.
Okay, that answer hasn't been on the. I haven't heard that before, but I can understand how that could feel real.
Yeah, and I don't mean to say that from a competitive point of view or to demean my gorgeous husband at all. But when I saw that the income that I was bringing in was a valid income, that's when I went, yeah, this is great, and I'm real. And it also gave me some real confidence to, then go out and continue to grow it.
Yeah, and it really, the financial side of it really is endorsement that the business is successful, isn't it?
Yeah, it is actually.
It is.
It really is. You can get some, great testimonials and have excellent client relationships and know what you do is great, but it's when you can pay the bills and forecast for your future that's when you have a great business that supports you as much as you support it,
Yeah, indeed. So when you were starting the business, and you said you've worked in marketing for a number of years, so I just want, if you could talk a little bit about how did you know that what you were offering is something that somebody wants, that your customers, your clients actually want what you're offering? How did you know that?
Yeah, so it's a good question. I think as a personality type, I'm probably a bit of a helper personality type. And I also love talking to people, and I love people's passions, actually, and I'm often very inspired when I talk to people and when they get all juiced up about whatever it is that they're very passionate about. And I'm also so enrollable. I just want to get in there and do it with them. I love and live off passion, And so when I would talk to people about their businesses, I'd have this idea of how to help them. So I would just say, oh, you should do this, or you should do that, or you could think about things differently if you did A, B, and C. And, inevitably the conversation would go on, and then I would actually be helping them, achieve their goals. And so within, so that was whilst my kids were younger, and I helped out a few different businesses. And then I had four different people that I was doing similar but different things for, but essentially connecting with one business to talk about their business and seeing if it was a match, seeing if they, if their product and services worked well together. And I absolutely love the idea of joint ventures and where we can co-create business together, so that, you know, you're not alone and you're not doing everything on your own, when you can align with another business and then you know, serve a whole new realm of clients, or the existing realm of clients in a whole better way. And so when I had those 4 clients and I was looking at, you know, taking on my year, I thought, you know, this is something that I can see everybody would need who is in a business service. And so from there, I just started talking to more people, as a matter of fact, and building my clientele from there. So, yeah, that's kind of how it all came about.
So really listening to what people were asking for and then giving it to them, really?
Yes. Yes, it's as simple as that. I think business is as simple as that, actually. Listen to what people need and then provide it for them.
Exactly. Oh, dear. So, Kim, how did you fund the business in the early days? So, you know, you talked about you were with your children, and then there's, you know, even the basic business, you know, a laptop and the home office still needs funding. So if you don't mind, you know, telling us, how did you fund, and then if you know, as you expanded, how did you fund the expansion?
Yeah, cool. So really, I did everything myself at the beginning, and because I was in the very, very fortunate position of having clients before I really had a business, that definitely helped. So I was earning this, you know, play money, really, like lifestyle money, you know, whilst my children were younger. So at the beginning, I definitely did everything myself, like from, you know, building my own website to, you know, getting on the phone myself, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So the funding would have come out of, you know, our personal budget, you know, my husband and I family budget. But then, as I say, I did have a few clients, so that money definitely went into, you know, paying the mobile phone bill, website hosting, you know, templates, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then, you know, one of the great things I think about that, though, has been that now I know that kind of stuff, although I don't do it, and I have a team, you know, that I work with now, so I don't have to do it all. I know exactly what each of them are doing, and I know the time it takes. I know the challenges that they have, and so I think that it really assists me in that leadership role of knowing what everybody is doing, because in the beginning I did it all myself.
That's terrific, yeah. And the smart thing is to stop doing it at some point, isn't it?
Oh my goodness, stop doing it as quickly as you can is my advice.
Yeah, because you really don't have to know how to do everything.
No, that's right. And I think any business that you want to take beyond yourself, you know, obviously you need a team around you. You need a really good team, and and then, you know, I'm not good at everything anyway. I really hate the nitty-gritty stuff. So I'm one of those big picture people. So you know, my team is basically the doers, and you know, I float around and tell people how I would like things to be done.
and as you said, with an appreciation of just what their challenges are and the time involved, so that if somebody does say to you, look, it's taking days to get this done, you actually have a full understanding of that, rather than thinking, man, what, you know, like, what's going on? How come it's taking so long? So
yeah, absolutely. That's right.
And the reverse, of course. Terrific. So you started with your 4 customers. How did you find more? You know, where did new customers come from? How do you grow your business?
Yeah, so I predominantly work online. So, you know, meeting people online. You know, I take myself on as one of my own clients, and LinkedIn is a great referral network, a meet, greet and referral network for me. The other thing that I do is I search for people who I want to connect with, and, you know, it takes a long time to be thinking, A, who you want to connect with, why you want to connect with them, how you can assist them, and then also how they can assist you. But I honestly just do a lot of reaching out. I do for myself what I do for my clients.
Which is how we met.
Which is how we met,
Which is
exactly.
how we met, indeed, yes. And glad we did. Thank you. So how did you decide pricing? Now, you could talk about the actual numbers, or you can just talk philosophically about, how do you decide how much to charge? Because, particularly a business like yours, where it's this kind of nebulous thing that how do you choose that?
To be honest, Ingrid, I didn't really want to answer this question because I wanted to come across like a professional with your audience. Because, in the beginning, I didn't even really have a pricing strategy. I knew the people that I helped, and so together we just sort of talked about what would work for them and what would work for me. And, that is certainly not the way to do business unless you're me, I suppose. From those early days, though, when I started to reach out to people who I didn't know, I still wasn't very good at charging for my services, and I charged based on what I thought was good value for the clients, while also still making a profit after my costs. So then very quickly I went into a pricing restructure because, obviously my business has only been going for 2 years now. So very quickly I went into a pricing restructure. And this also happened when I realised, the value of the business and the value that I was giving my clients. And so then, I know this is going to sound crazy to the audience, but I had listened to someone on a podcast, and they suggested to be really bold that nobody ever charges enough for their services, and put a 1 at the front of your fee. And I thought, oh my goodness, you can't possibly do that. But I did. And that's been my pricing structure for the last 6 months. And then I know, crazy, right? So then going into 2017, because I've got I've got a bit more business sense now, perhaps. Actually discuss it with my accountant and, get some external counsel to assist me, because I think pricing is a place that we can all get a bit stuck depending on our systems and thinking what will people pay rather than what your service is actually worth.
Yeah, and to take the product for what it is. When you see what people pay for some things, it's the value that they place on that purchase, whatever it is, whether it's a physical product or whether it's a service.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's champagne and there's champagne. When you think of all of the range of products that we have, there's the ones at this end of the spectrum and there's the ones at that end of the spectrum, and what allows more zeros on the end of that one to this one. So, it's probably a good conversation to be having with your accountant.
Yeah, and I think also when you know the value, when you've got, your clients under your belt and you can see their successes and you can see what value you have in the long term, that gives you a lot of confidence to then set your prices accordingly. So that's what I see now for myself, which I perhaps didn't see in the beginning.
Yeah, and that's probably not dissimilar to many others listening to this who, are thinking about starting a business, is that they're not sure where to start with pricing. And often we look around our competitors or our perceived competitors as a guide, and that's not always the best way either, is it?
No, I agree with you. However, I think if, perhaps if the viewers or the listeners thought of a price that they thought was reasonable, but then always go above that price, because I think we always undervalue our service.
And particularly in the early days, as you say, if you haven't got the runs on the board or you haven't got the testimonials, it does feel more difficult to ask for a particular price in terms of pricing.
Yeah.
So, Kim, I know it's only 2 years in, but what's your exit strategy?
Yes, Ingrid, I actually don't really have one at the moment.
That's good.
But one of the things that I am thinking about at the moment, especially, after, speaking to a coach and an accountant, is that, systems and procedures are really important when selling a business. And so what I'm really diligent with is documentation right now in my business so that anyone can come in and do a particular role. The other thing that I'm also present to is that, a lot of businesses really rely, or not a lot of businesses, I shouldn't say that, but if your business relies on your own personality to grow the business, it's less saleable than if it's a, walk in and they will get the same amount of income and profits. So I'm really careful right now to try and keep my personality out of it as much as possible. Yes, but right now I actually really love what I'm doing, and I can't see myself leaving for a number of years. And then also the business is evolving, so
Yes.
Watch this space.
Watch this space, yeah. I do encourage people when I'm working with them at the beginning of their journey to just think about what that exit strategy might look like, because and it doesn't have to end up that way, but when we're setting something up, is what might that exit strategy be, because that can influence, as you say, setting up systems and processes, just how much of your actual personality is the actual brand and how much of it is the brand for itself. So nice answer there, Kim. That's terrific. So here's a couple of those, what do you wish questions. So what's the one thing that you really wish you'd done differently at the beginning? If you had to look back and say, oh, gosh, I wish I'd done that or done it earlier.
Yeah, it's cool. So one of the things that I would like to have, in hindsight, is probably not taken my eyes off expanding. When I reached that point when I couldn't do any more myself, I didn't go out and look for more clients. I just stayed still, and then, so to speak. And I really should have hired earlier and then grown into that. So I have a team of 4 of us now, and that's really, I really could have started that much earlier in the process.
Oh, who's that?
Sorry about that.
No, that's
someone at the front door.
Oh, is it? This is one of the joys of working from home, is we have the sounds of the suburbs or the sounds of the studio coming in loud and
That's
clear.
right. In some of the things that I've done, my children have walked and sat on my lap, and I tell you that's just as hilarious as a dog barking at the front door.
Well, that's good. Dog's doing its job. So, and this is a slightly different question. What's something you wish you'd known at the start? Like if somebody could have told you that at the beginning of your journey, what's something that you wish you'd known at the beginning of the business?
You know how I told you at the beginning, this was a lifestyle business for me? I think I wish I had have known how much grunt work would actually be in running my own business. So, we have this idea that we're not going to be working around the clock, that we're going to be looking after our family, and, I'd be the perfect, housewife, business owner extraordinaire. But how it often looks is, I tuck the kids into bed and then I work. And I get up early so that I can get a few hours in before anyone annoys me. So it's honestly, even though I thought that it would be all about lifestyle, it isn't always. There's a lot of work when you work for yourself.
There is. So Kim, do you think if someone had told you how much work it was, would you still have been as motivated to do it, or do you think that would have impacted your decision?
I think I'm so bullheaded that I would have said to that person, oh, there's no way there's that much work in it, and, I'll do it differently and I'll be better at it, and, I'll be so much better than what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, that can't be true. So I actually think I would have still done it because I'm so bullheaded.
Terrific. And you wouldn't have allowed that to stop you from doing it because, yeah.
I just would have said, you know, oh no, it won't be like that for me.
Of course. So now you've talked about your amazing husband and, you know, you've talked about your accountant. So it may be those people, but this question is about who apart from yourself has been of greatest assistance to you and to your business. So it may be them or it may be someone completely different, and it's totally up to you, Kim, whether you actually mention somebody's name or you just talk about somebody in essence.
Yeah, sure. So when I took on my business, one smart thing that I did do was I got a coach, and I couldn't have done it without my coach. And it was a coaching program, and I also got an accountability partner in the coaching program. Mm-hmm. And, you know, again, I could never have kept up with it without, you know, the handhold support of a coach and an accountability partner, you know, not only for the program that they put you through, but for all of the steps and the hurdles that you really don't ever know that you're going to come across.
Yeah.
And, and, you know, I did mention my gorgeous husband, and I would say he has been awesome, you know, during those times when I could actually listen to his advice, because, you know, I don't think you should actually go to your partners for that kind of advice. And my kids have really also been amazing in, you know, being quiet when I've been on the phone, like, you know, that level of assistance. Yeah.
And each of them has their own role in that, don't they? That's good.
Yeah, they really shouldn't be overlooked. You know, they put up with a lot, and
they benefit a lot from you being as successful as you are and being the person that you are as well. So it kind of works both ways, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So Kim, who can give you really good, really useful feedback?
Look, it's really just who I mentioned, I would say. When you have a good relationship with your coach and accountability partner, when you've got a good relationship with your partner and you don't take things personally, I think they can also be great feedback.
Yeah, because feedback's so important, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. For you to grow to the next level, and, you know, every time you grow, your business grows.
Exactly. So if you had somebody standing in front of you or somebody on the phone saying that they were considering starting their own business, what would you say to them?
You know, I'd say go for it. Absolutely, 100% go for it. And of course, you know, do your due diligence. But you know, it's better to, what's that saying? You know, live your passion, and you know, I don't even know what that saying is, but go for it. That's what I would say.
Isn't the one about loved and lost and never loved at all or something? Is that the one you're thinking of?
Yeah, that, you know, all of those wonderful sayings. But do your due diligence and live your passion.
Yeah, so be smart about it, but give yourself the best shot.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you've talked about some of your characteristics, and I'm not going to put words in your mouth right now, but if you had to think about the 3 key characteristics that make you successful in your business, how would you what are those 3?
I think that I take a really personal approach to my clients. I really, I'm in the fortunate position of selecting clients that I enjoy working with rather than working with anybody. So being personal, the tenacity that you need to, you know, continue when you're dog-tired and don't want to. So that would be a trait. And my big picture creativity would also really come into play, I think.
Yeah, so those 3 combined help to make you as successful as you are. And so if we go back to the startup who's thinking about starting the business, what do you think they need?
I would honestly tell them to get a coach that is really aligned to their vision.
That's good advice, because that's really what's made the difference for you, isn't it? That's
really simple. Get
yeah.
a coach who knows who you are and is completely aligned to your vision.
Yeah. And how do you, and you know, I hadn't planned to ask you this because I didn't know that was going to be your answer, but how do you find a coach? Like,
You know, yeah, look, that's a good question. Honestly, I found mine on Facebook. But how do you find a good coach? If I was looking for a coach now, I'd perhaps look at, you know, if I had someone in business that was successful, I would ask them if they had one. I'd go to Google. Google is our friend. And, you know, I would go through LinkedIn or, you know, obviously any of those platforms. And, you know, by their messaging, you'll know whether they're aligned to your value system or whether they're not. And you'll get a gut feeling as to the person who's right for you.
yeah. And can I just ask you, did you meet face to face with your coach, or did you meet through Skype or Zoom or?
Yeah, just completely online. Yep, the States actually.
Yeah.
And I actually looked for somebody who had a program in the States intentionally. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's what you needed, and it works quite well to be able to be in another part of the world. It's amazing what the technology can do, though, isn't it? We're truly lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really,
Kim,
really cool.
thanks so much for your time today. And just before we finish, is there anything else in terms of your business journey, or like if we think about the audience listening to this, so these are people who are either thinking about starting a business or who maybe are in their early stages of getting set up. And so is there anything else that you would say before we finish? Otherwise, we'll just we'll say goodbye and go. But I just wanted to give you the opportunity if there was something else.
Yeah. One thing that I would say is when you're starting a business, it's just so important to look after your own well-being, because you can really throw in and work around the clock. And I would just, you know, that's probably my biggest thing. Make sure that you keep your life balance as well and your health and well-being up there so that you can serve your clients in, you know, whatever industry that you're in. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's very nice, Kim. Yeah, thank you. It's always good to remember that it's a balance of everything, isn't it? That's terrific.
Well, we're in for the long term, Ingrid, not the short term. So it's a marathon, not a sprint.
That's exactly right. Okay. So, Kim, it's been a delight. I shall put some notes in the show notes about how people can get in contact with you if they need to. And, you know, because I know that people are always looking for other ways of improving their businesses. And, you know, there are people listening to this who, you know, are more established in business. So it's been a delight speaking to you today. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ingrid, for the opportunity. I've just enjoyed it so much. Thank you.
Bye. What a lot of great ideas from Kim. As you heard, she is a lot of fun, isn't she? So thank you so much for listening. And as always, we strive to bring you interesting interviews with terrific people. If you found this helpful, please leave a 5-star review for the show. This helps more people find us, and that means we get to help more people understand what it takes to get started in a business of their own. Have a great week. And remember, ideas are great. Ideas on their own, well, they're just that. They're ideas. What are you going to do right now to take action on your ideas? Thanks for listening.